So, welcome to Assertiveness versus Aggressiveness. Now, this is a webinar that I know that you're drawn to for a reason. So, whether you're watching it live with us now or you're watching it later, think about why you personally were drawn to it. So, some of you are here to learn about it so that you can help clients. Some of you are learning about it so that you can help yourself or to try to heal. So, when it comes to healing from aggressive relationships, as an example, or aggressiveness within ourselves, sometimes it takes a while to be able to get there. And you have to go through a lot of healing, grieving. You may be going through past traumas, emotions, literally past aggressiveness within yourself or past relationships that have scarred you. And you may be here because you're learning to undo patterns and programs that have literally taken over your life. So this could be behaviors. You may be healing responses to aggressive behavior or abuse conditioning behaviors. And we're going to talk today a little bit about abuse conditioning. So I want you to write that down. If you have a piece of paper, write the words down: abuse conditioning. So those patterns, those programs that we have, literally have attracted some sort of trauma to us. And a lot of people think, how is that? Like, how is it possible that I could have attracted an aggressor in my life? You know, somebody who was rude, somebody who may have been a narcissist. How is that possible? So if you think about it, our frequency literally had to be matched to their aggressiveness in order for it to happen, which is kind of confusing. Because again, how do I match a narcissist? And if like attracts like, does that mean I'm a bad person? So I want you to think about your life and or other people's lives. Maybe you've had bullying in your past. And what is the frequency match between a victim and a bully? Really think about this for a moment. What's the frequency match between a victim and a bully? One of the frequency matches would be insecurity. So if you're insecure about yourself, you're going to possibly bring somebody to you that's insecure within themselves. So if they're a bully, great, it matches up. But also fear. If you have fear within yourself, then a bully will match that fear. They will also match anger. A bully can also match a lack. So if you're lacking anything, a bully can actually be that physical match for you. So it's like a mirror of what is going on the inside of you, and you're actually acting it out through that person, if that makes any sense. So again, abuse conditioning. If you think about exercise conditioning, then you're going to be using your muscles. You're going to be training, right, through exercise. And this is a repeated behavior that you do over and over again in order to get strong in that area, right? So to heal, you have to reprogram your brain to do things in a different way. You have to recondition. An aggressor, somebody who's up against you, is a repeated offender. So they repeat behavior. And this needs approval, right? They need your approval to do this. And again, they have low self-esteem. They're thinking about themselves, right? So good or bad, they may be thinking of themselves in a good way, but they're thinking of themselves. So again, a victim matches them perfectly. Why? Because they're a repeat offender, right? Doing the things that they shouldn't do, that's attracting certain behavior. So they have repeated behavior, they need approval, they have low self-esteem, and they're thinking about themselves. So they might be thinking themselves in a bad way, right? But they're still thinking about themselves. So it's a perfect match, literally. So some aggressors are obvious. They're extroverted, right? Some are actually not. And, you know, they might be subtle, they may be, you know, sort of interior, but again, they match. So think about a narcissist. And a narcissist is the same thing. So they're either overt or covert, right? So they're extroverted or introverted, but they're repeat offenders. They need admiration. They have low self-esteem that's covered up. They have a high sense of self, you know, in some ways, you know, at least to other people. So they have to look better than you. They lack feelings, though. That's the difference, right? The victim has feelings, but the narcissist lacks the feelings. They lack empathy. And so they need a victim to excuse their behavior. And you'll notice a narcissist because a lot of their main relationships just seem to be off. And you think, okay, there's a major pattern here where they can't seem to get along with major figures in their life. So this could be family members, and this could be, you know, relationships. And this is where it gets confusing because a victim also may have problems in relationships, in family, all of that kind of stuff, right? So the difference is the victim is trying to help themselves. We hope so, right? Where the destructive person or the aggressor or the narcissist is literally demeaning, traumatizing somebody, belittling somebody, destructive in all senses of the word, right? So the victim is left in the end thinking, how did that happen? Like literally what happened, right? So they need to start thinking, do I want this in my future? And what are the characteristics within me that literally caused this behavior? What were the red flags? And how would I do differently? What would I do differently? And what exactly is it that I want in my life, in my job, in my relationships? And what is my trauma response to all of this? So, for example, when trauma happens, am I angry? Do I fight back? Do I become submissive and say yes when I really mean no? We need to understand ourselves so that we don't become repeat offenders as well. And one very, very important thing to understand in victimhood is to know that the victim gets something out of it. I want you to think about that. The victim gets something out of it. So, what does a raped person get out of it? What does an abused person get out of it? There has to be something that lured them to that person. Maybe they were getting compliments, they were fake compliments, right? Or they were needed, or they felt touched, they felt loved just for that second, that hour, that year that they were with that person. There's something within us that gets attracted to abusers because those abusers are going to give us something. But if we're real about it, if we're honest with ourselves, and we can really think about what we got from it, that's when healing begins.